Hey!
Hello!
Don. Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up?
So, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I apologize in advance for any sneezing. I've got kind of a cold going on.
No worries.
Okay. So I guess we'll just get the ball rolling. I'm going to start out with some production-based questions, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. Okay?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. So let's just get the obvious question out of the way. When we talked at the show in Boston, you guys mentioned that you use Massive, Contact, and Guitar Rig. But what are some other plugins that you guys use frequently?
We use a lot of FMA. Basically, we mostly use Native Instruments Contact for nearly everything, and then Fab Filter Compressor we use a lot, and the EQ, and Ableton's native stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, the Fab Filter EQ is a bit trickier, or it takes a bit more time to set up than the Ableton Live 9 EQ, and they look the same, so...
Right. So you guys do use Ableton? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, and do you use the stock Contact library for your horns, or do you have another library that you prefer?
For High Tide, we did real horns, so...
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's a trombone, a trumpet, and a saxophone. But for other stuff, like if you listen closely, there are horns in Time to Realize, Wait, and I think also Coffee Table, and that's stock things that come with Complete.
Okay.
We used to use Contact Sax and Brass, which was in a I don't remember the name of that plugin, but they canceled it. So now, yeah, so we don't use that anymore. We don't really have that good horn sounds.
Yeah.
Except for real ones. So.
But I mean, it's the processing that you guys do on it afterwards that makes it sound the way it does, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Volume modulation and stuff.
Yeah, on the sampled ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To get, for example, crescendos are tricky to do if you don't just do volume automation.
Right.
And it's because you have to time it right, but it's not an ideal solution because a volume automation doesn't sound the same as a horn that's played lightly.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing to get right, for sure.
Okay, awesome. So you guys create your own samples, right? Heard you say that before.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on sampling in general, and do you think copyright laws are too strict?
I don't know. It's well, we found it very tricky to clear samples, which is why we started doing it to begin with. But at the same time, the original creators obviously should get paid somehow.
Right.
It's a tricky subject because,
but I think
it's a lot of our favorite music is made with samples. Like Digital Love is just
right. A lot of Daft Punk.
Yeah, a lot of Daft Punk is just 4 bars of another song, but they don't sound the same. And usually the other songs didn't become hits, and there's usually a reason for that. So the combination of those two songs, or like Daft Punk's version of the what's he called again? Not Duke Ellington. Whoever made the sample.
Yeah, right.
Those two songs together make up Digital Love, and that song sounds great. I'm not such a fan of the original, but those 4 bars of that song are really cool. So that's
George Duke.
George Duke, exactly.
George Duke, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what is your approach to the stereo field? How do you guys go about filling up the space in your mix?
We do. I mean, that's also tricky because you have phasing issues, and obviously a lot of our songs are made to be played on clubs that are often, you would find there some to mono, and so you need to make sure that it works if you sum it to mono. And I don't know, you find tricks after a while that doesn't screw with your mono capabilities as much. So you would, for example, we use Dave Smith Prophet, which is an analog synthesizer, Prophet update, which can spread individually voices, which means that if you play a chord on that synth, you would have one note of that chord playing 25% to the right and another playing 25% to the left. And that sounds really wide and sometimes really good, but yeah, it's tricky. We try to make it as wide as possible without compromising the mono.
Okay, cool.
Qualities.
All right. What would you say has been the hardest production technique for you to learn and master as you've gone along?
Mixing. I mean, in general, to make stuff work. I mean, it's hard to. Again, the stereo field is a tricky one to get drums to sound punchy and to make distortions sound good. For example, distorting a chord without having really unpleasant artifacts. And the same with doing really heavy compression without getting nasty clicks and pops and how to remove them once they're there. All of that stuff, it's just... there's not really one production technique that took a lot of effort to learn.
Just getting an overall balance.
Yeah, because mostly like singular production techniques are more like tricks that you can use, and they're sort of, once you know them and understand them, they're not that hard.
Right.
It just to get a firm grasp on production as a whole is the most tricky part, and the only part that you can't sort of. I couldn't give you a secret to it. You would just have to practice and build up like a mental manual of how to produce.
Okay. And how long would you say it typically takes you to complete a song these days?
I don't know. It wildly differs. Cut to Black didn't take that long because it was just a piano idea and then it worked really well, so it didn't take a lot of effort to make it into a song that sounded nice, both production-wise and as a song. Whereas High Tide took a long time to finish because it had a lot of stuff going on, both a lot of instruments and a lot of changes. And Continuum took a long time to finish because the production was hard to make sit right.
Okay. All right.
It depends.
All right, so let's switch gears and let's talk about some non-production stuff.
Yeah.
So you've commented a bunch of times before about being influenced by Daft Punk and Justice and other bands that sound like that. But what would you guys say are some newer artists that sound similar to what you guys do?
That we also get inspired by, you mean? Or just like...
Or that just you enjoy? Either way.
I really like J. Paul. He hasn't done a whole lot lately, but he's kind of new. I keep hearing rumors about him making an album, but
J. Paul,
we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tori Moy.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of one song here and there from different producers. Kaitronada, Stu. I'm trying to remember all. Chrome Sparks.
What's that song that you always put on your mixes?
GT40.
Lindsay Lohan.
There's a lot of talent out there. So narrowing it down is going to be tricky.
Okay.
Maudion, definitely, like stuff he did was something new, like taking the kind of Daft Punk type sound and chopping and stuff.
Puerto Robinson just did an amazing album. And the word on the street is that Madion's album that's being made right now is insane.
Oh, I didn't even know he was working on a new one. That's cool.
Yeah, I haven't heard it personally, but
first full-length album.
yeah,
Cool.
So it's gonna be
can't wait to
amazing,
hear
I
it.
think.
Alrighty. Okay, you've said in other interviews that people always think in the song Continuum that you're saying sipping on some bitch's tea.
Yeah.
What are the actual lyrics? Is it hibiscus tea?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, I got it.
I
Awesome.
never heard anyone actually guessing the correct answer.
That's cool. Well, I wasn't sure what it said, and then I saw an interview where you said that wasn't the correct lyrics, and then I saw you guys live, and I could pick it out, so
Yeah.
it seemed like you were trying to make sure people got it right. All right, cool. All right, so how's your full-length album coming along?
We just have, at this point, it's just ideas because we've been touring so heavily this summer, and we've been jumping continents constantly, like once a week for the last 2 months almost. So we've managed to get down some ideas in between concerts. We have around 6-7 demos. We'll know more. We stop our touring in October. In the middle of October, we're going to be done touring for as long, like, as we know. So we're just going to stop touring and make an album, and hopefully it's going to be a classic.
Okay, cool. All right, so you guys produced a song with Puerto Robinson on his new album. Was that something that you guys got together physically for, or did you exchange files on the internet?
No, we never actually met him.
Oh, you haven't met him yet? Okay. My follow-up to that was, how did you guys meet? But I guess... okay.
We have.
So did he just send you a project file, and then you guys filled out what you wanted to do and then sent it back?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we got sent sort of his song, and then we wrote lyrics for it. We didn't actually produce the song. I mean, it was almost a finished song without vocals.
Okay.
And his album was far along when we got into it, and we just really liked the song. So we went back and forth with him on vocal ideas, and kept writing and kept changing things up until we ended up with the song that you can hear today.
Okay, cool. All right, and speaking of collaborations, I really like the song Dreamcatcher that you guys did with Camo and Crooked. Did you guys do just the vocals and the guitar on that, or did you do more?
No, that one we actually we provided the initial idea, so what you can hear in the start is mixed by them, but that part is written and recorded by us. And then they made like what you would call the drop, and then that was more, since we had longer lead times on that, we had more time to go back and forth and be more joined into the production aspect of it.
Okay. Would you guys ever consider doing a song of that tempo on your own?
We may go kind of that tempo.
Yeah, that is close.
Yeah. So I mean, we're probably not going to make drum and bass in the near distant future, but the tempo is appealing for sure.
Okay.
Cool.
And that's actually a great lead into my next question. Let's talk about the song Go.
Yeah.
Is that song about an era of your life before Lemaitre became popular, or does that have a more recent meaning?
I mean, a lot of the songs can be interpreted in a lot of ways. I certainly have my take on it. I think for a lot of songs, it ruins the mystery behind it if you know exactly what is meant by it. And there are a lot of good songs that are metaphors, or where you sing about one thing and you mean another, stuff like that.
Okay. So the important thing is the feeling behind it.
Or it's told like from a character that isn't us, like it's the story told in first person, but
right, but not necessarily about the person singing it.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that about wraps it up. I don't want to take too much of your time. I see you've already been running over with your meeting. But I just want to say thanks a bunch for taking the time to chat with me, guys.
No,
And
no worries.
I'm super excited about what I can hear from you in the future.
Cool,
Yeah.
man.
All right.
Where are you based, Dan? You're based in Boston.
I'm right outside of Boston, about an hour away.
That's it's actually we're I don't know if this is being promoted properly, but we're not doing the Boston and what are the Boston and Philadelphia? We're not doing on the Porter tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's why I came and saw you guys about a month ago when you guys
Cool.
came to Boston. So
Nice.
Yep.
Thanks a lot for your time. Cool. If you can send me a link when you've published.
okay, cool.
Cheers, Dan.
All right, have a good one.
It's the day. Bye. Bye.
Peace.
Hey guys, this is Dan from EDM Academy, and I hope you liked the interview. If you haven't yet, check out Lemaitre's music at the bottom in the description. I also wanted to announce two things. The first is that I have a new series called Watch Me Produce, where you can watch me work on an actual song and learn real-life applications to some of the techniques that we teach. And the other thing I wanted to announce is that I'm now offering online tutoring via Skype. So you can find all the info about both of those in the two corners of this video. Thanks a bunch.